What are the best tools for building your business credit? I mean, how do you take 2 or 3 years of a business credit building process and condense it down into only 4 or 6 months? Well, I'm going to show you how we've helped about, 40,000 plus, nearly 50,000 people through the business credit building process and the tools you can use in order to expedite the results. Look, there's 2 paths you can choose when you start building your business credit. You can choose the route of using our information on places like YouTube, etc., communities, groups, and go through that 2-3 year process with help, or you can get access to tools that you need to be able to expedite the process and get done what normally takes place in years and only months. So let's dive in and talk about that. Now, if you're watching, we're kind of doing a series of different business credit building themes this month, including how to build a business credit portfolio. So everything that you need to know to do this, we've covered over the last weeks, I should say. Building business credit over time was what we talked about last time, what the process is, how you can make the most effective use of your time, and how to avoid frustration and then delays. Today, we're going to talk about the tools you can use, including a core program, a Genesis program to expedite business credit building. We're going to talk about NAV, business credit monitoring, what they offer, how that can help you along the way. We're also going to take a look at the exact 7-step process. Now that you've seen it from out of 10,000 foot view, I'm going to dive into the exact specifics on how our clients are actually going through this process and doing it, so you can see how you can cut years off of this business credit building process. So if you're staying to the end, there's some things you're going to get access to: 30 days of free business credit monitoring with Dun & Bradstreet, 30 days of free credit monitoring with Experian, 30 days of free credit monitoring with Equifax, a playback of this training, and a no-cost business credit consultation. At the end of this training, if you're sticking around to the end, I will make sure that you have access to all of these things just because you hung around to the end of this training. I'm going to show you how to get it. For those that don't know me, once in a while, I like to reintroduce myself. I've been in the financial services industry for 2 decades, the author of 2 of the best-selling books on consumer commercial credit, Perfect Credit and Business Credit Decoded. I'm also seen everywhere. Forbes, Inc., Entrepreneur. You can see me on news stations, a lot of podcast radio as well. And I'm blessed to have an opportunity to oversee the largest partner division in the country with business credit builders. So that means that a lot of the loan brokers out there offering loans, most of the companies out there you see offering business credit, we're the ones behind the scene actually servicing those partners, those people that are out there offering it. So we provide the solutions they're offered to the customer and the training they need to succeed. I only tell you this stuff so you kind of get an idea of our ability to be able to provide you this information. A lot of people that might teach you business credit building are teaching you from a perspective that they've helped a person through it or they've done it themselves. In our world, we've helped about 50,000 people going on, over 42,000. And I think this year we're climbing closer to 50,000 through this process. We've been in the Inc. 5000, one of the fastest growing companies in the country the last couple of years, ranked the best entrepreneur company in 2018 by Entrepreneur Magazine, A+ rated with a BBB. I mean, hundreds of reviews online, podcast interviews, a lot of other places that you have seen that we cover the topic of business credit building. So I tell you this just so you know that we have a ton of access to content, or we release a lot of training and content on this to teach and help people through this process. So for staying at the end of the training, we're talking about this. Are you in the right place? Well, if you're looking to build business credit, if you're looking to do it the fastest way, if you want to save yourself a bunch of time, if you've been frustrated with trying to build business credit and go through the process on your own, if you wonder how to make it more efficient, how to make it faster, how to get better results, those are all the kind of things that we're going to be talking about today. So let's dive in. So a lot of things you need to know. First of all, you need to know what to do to build business credit. And it is going to take some time to set aside to go through this process. But oftentimes it turns out to be a lot more work if you don't know what you're doing than it actually should be and what it actually could be. Because business credit building never really ends. A lot of people ask me this: how long does it take to get to the end of the business credit building process? And the reality is that it never ends. You know, building business credit is just like consumer credit. It's a process that is never going to end. You're always going to be working on improving your business credit, the same as you're continuously growing your consumer credit. And thanks for tuning in. If you don't mind, give me a shout out. Let me know what city and state you're from so I can give you a shout out as well. Steve, what's up, buddy? Thanks for coming in and saying hello. So it's never really done. It is a process, and it's a process ongoing. It's just a process that when you get through the initial stages, you can get to the end pretty quickly in about 4 to 6 months, which is auto financing, which is bank credit cards like Visa cards, MasterCards. It's also where you can get into computer leases in about 4 to 6 months. And from there, you just get access to more credit and higher and higher and higher limits. So every business really needs this. It doesn't matter how big or small you are. Small businesses can benefit the most from this because when you're just getting started and you're newer in business, it's really hard to get capital. The majority of startups fail. We all know that. And because of those statistics, lenders and credit issuers really don't like to lend money and issue credit to newer businesses. This is why we teach you fundability. I teach you fundability because if you really make your business fundable from their perspective, it gives you a really good fighting chance to be able to get capital. But a lot of business owners don't know fundability. They're not watching this training. And the problem there is they're coming in, they're new in business, they're high risk. Then they're trying to get money when their business isn't even set up where it's credible. So fundability helps a lot in the beginning stages. But what's nice about business credit building is that you can get it as a newer business, and it really gives you 80% of the money that you may need to actually grow that business and get it off the ground. Amazon credit cards, Walmart credit cards, Visa cards, MasterCards, auto financing, fuel for vehicles, Staples, Office Depot, Lowe's, Home Depot, Sam's Club, Costco. I mean, if you look at all this credit that's available from HP, Dell, Apple for computer leases, etc., you can see that almost everything you need to get a business off the ground, you can use business credit for about 80% of the stuff. So it works really good for a startup because you can get it when you can't typically get capital. Okay, but for a very well-established business, it becomes a necessity because your ability to get money from SBA, your ability to get big credit lines and loans from your bank, none of that's possible without business credit. It just can't be done. And the reason for that is that you have to have acceptable business credit scores to qualify for any of that stuff. So if you've never built your business credit, you don't have the scores that's needed to qualify for the higher level financing. So business credit really is beneficial from the very new startup business where you can get money through it that you typically can't, all the way through to a very well-established business. It provides a ton of business, a ton of benefits, and which is why it really becomes a necessity. And I say the same thing about consumer credit. I've talked to a lot of people with bad credit in the past. And kind of what happens is they get bad credit and then they think that if they do nothing with their credit that it will improve. Then they decide not to use their credit. They don't get credit cards. They don't qualify for car loans or mortgages. And then at some point they want a car loan. At some point they want a mortgage. Then they finally realize they got to go backwards and now fix the credit that was damaged. It's the same thing. It's really hard to walk through life without consumer or commercial credit because bigger things you need to purchase on the consumer side, a house, a car, and the business side, being able to buy big pieces of equipment, being able to get loans for expansion, massive credit lines you can rely on, all the stuff is based on credit. So if you just don't build that and build that track history, it's just really tough to get access to the money that you need, if not impossible. So a lot of tools for business credit building. Apart from price and ease of use of these considerations, you can definitely use a tool that saves you time, okay? And you also need a tool which benefit you the most while building your business credit, expedite the process. And it's also helpful to be able to have legitimate answers to questions as you go through this process. And what I mean by this is that I found in business and in life that there's two paths you can choose in almost everything. You can either choose the time or the money path, meaning that you can dedicate the time and learn about just anything. I can learn to change the oil in my car. I can learn to fix this outlet on the wall here. I could learn to edit videos. I mean, there's not much I can't learn. It's one of the things I love about life is that I can read all the stuff and learn to do all of this crazy stuff. Okay. But the thing is that in order to learn anything, it takes time. You got to learn a lot and then you never get the good result, right? I can go change my oil, but it's not going to be as good or fast as somebody that knows how to do that in anything. The other aspect is that you pay an expert to do it. It saves you the time. Usually, you almost always get a better result. And you have somebody that typically is going to do it and give you back the time. So it's the same thing here. You can either do this on your own without tools, and you could take the time to do it. And it takes 3 years and, versus 6 months. And you have to ask yourself that, that 2.5 years extra time it takes. What could you have done if you had that money 2.5 years faster? That's kind of the sacrifice. Or you pay for the tools and the tools give you the shortcut, right? The tools cut the process to 4 to 6 months and it removes a lot of the frustrations and barriers. So again, it's kind of the way it is in life and businesses. You've got to really decide whether you want a tool that saves you time and money, or you're actually you're actually willing to dedicate the time in lieu of saving money. And what I mean by that is that sometimes people think that by paying the tools that there's a cost, but the reality is you'll see that it's actually cheaper in a lot of cases to use tools in the expedited path than it is on your own, because you're just going to pay a premium and there's a lot more cost that you incur than if you use some of the tools to do it on your own. Hoover, Alabama, thanks for tuning in. San Antonio, Texas, what's up? LA, I don't know if that's Betty. You got to tell me, is that Los Angeles or is that Louisiana? And Lufkin, Texas, thanks for coming in, Steve. Oklahoma's in the house. I love Oklahoma City. I've spent a lot of time in Oklahoma City. I love Texas too, by the way. Lydia, I was actually stationed. I lived in Texas. I lived in two different cities, Wichita Falls and where you are in San Antonio. I took the Riverwalk. I actually ran into one of my high school teachers when I was on that Riverwalk. Funny story. So feel free to chime in. Tell me where you're from. Always like to say hello. So did you know, and if you look at us and what we do as a company, we have the largest access to vendors, which we'll be looking at today, and also business credit building. Business credit building cards. So when we look at all the retail credit, fleet credit, bank credit cards, etc., you might not know, or you might know that we have actually the largest supply of that. And really from us, it comes down into two tools that we use to help business owners build business credit, Core and Genesis. The other is Nav. And we're going to talk about Nav today as well, because Nav definitely has some tools that can help you as well. So let's talk a little bit about the Business Credit Core program. So with Credit Suite, if you're working with us, one of the most common tools that our clients use to build business credit is called our Core program. And it also includes something called the Business Credit Builder. Now, the Business Credit Builder is basically like a one-stop shop to help you through this process where you're actually working with an advisor hand in hand through the business credit building process. And then you go through our technology step by step by step. So we've got, over 7 figures into the tech that helps you build business credit. And I'll show you exactly what that looks like. And then as well as that is you've got somebody that holds your hand and walks you through that process. These are professional advisors. And again, if you look at reviews from us online, you'll see this is what we're known for. We're really not known, even though we're a software company, for the effectiveness of our technology that helps you through the process, but it's really the advisors. It's the holding your hand. It's the concierge coaching, the walking through the process. And the reason this makes a big difference is that we have a group called Get Business Credit. It has 50,000 people in it. And what we find, and early on into this, I remember somebody asking me, they said, Ty, why don't you talk about all this disinformation? Why don't you talk as it's being posted and say that it's not right? And I said, because, look, I don't remember what it is. It's like 50, I think it's like 50,000 engagements, posts every 28 days in that group. It's impossible to monitor it all because honestly, 85% of it's wrong. When you're listening to novices teach you things, it's problematic, right? Somebody might do something once and think they know it. Then they try to teach you to do it, but they forget a lot of the steps. They didn't understand the steps, or what worked for them didn't work for you. When you're working with people that have helped 40, 50,000 people through the process, then we have enough data as a grouping to figure out what works and what doesn't work in enough situations. So it's something you have to keep in mind. If you're trying to build business credit and you want the faster path, then you don't want to follow novices that are trying to figure this process out on their own. They might have advice that can help you. They might have advice that can hurt you. So for example, somebody can come in and say to you, hey, I used Quill as an initial starter vendor. Well, that was years ago. Quill now is no longer a starter vendor. We have them in tier 3. But if you followed that advice, you used Quill, you bought stuff for 3 months in a row, you spent hundreds of dollars only to find out that Quill still isn't reporting your stuff. You just wasted 3 months and hundreds of dollars worth of time. And that commonly happens. So always be careful when you're navigating this process and who's helping you through this program. So building your business credit score is very, very important because lenders and credit issuers are using that to determine the interest rate and term that you should pay on credit and financing. So it's very important that you're focusing on building your business credit scores as well. And that's why if you look at, for example, what we're actually doing to help clients, we have business credit monitoring access in our system where clients can get it for only $24 a month. We also offer access to loans, credit lines, the funding part of it too. And again, we help business owners see the valuation of their business as they grow and make modifications to make their business worth more. Now, this doesn't mean you have to work with us. I'm just giving you the shortcuts we give our clients. I'm kind of pulling back the curtain and saying, hey, look, a lot of people want to know why it takes them 3 years and why our clients get it 6 months. I'll tell you exactly what we're doing to expedite and why. So if you're not using us, these are some things you're going to need access to. You're going to want access to somebody like Credit Suite that has, over 1,000 funding sources, every legitimate funding product. So it's a one-stop shop for money when you need it. Because business credit is great, but you're also going to need access to loans and credit lines as you grow the business. You need access to affordable credit monitoring. We'll talk about NAV and some options there today. Otherwise, you spend $250 from the credit bureaus. That's expensive. That's $3,000 roughly a year you're going to spend if you go through the bureaus direct. And you definitely need to keep an eye on what your business is worth and what you can do to make it more, because 100% of the people that I talk to that exit businesses wish they would have known that when they were building the business. And a lot of them say they left 7 or 8 figures in revenue on the table when they sold the business because they didn't do that. But by building your business and understanding what makes it worth more money, you're focusing on the legacy value of your organization, which is what will help you get the most amount of money when you sell, when you go public, when you do whatever it is that you intend on doing. Okay, Los Angeles, Betty, thank you very much. I asked if you were LA meant LA like Los Angeles or Louisiana, which is close to me. So thanks for chiming in. So the core program also includes with us. This is why we give our clients 90% discount on credit monitoring, because that way it's got to be affordable. You can't build business credit without monitoring your business credit. And the reason for that is that moving through tiers, and I'll show you what the tiers look like today, and we'll take a look at that, as a matter of fact, even right now. When you navigate, and this is what our core program looks like, when you come in to build your business credit, when you navigate through the tiers of building business credit, the tiers are determined based on how many accounts you have reporting on your business credit reports. So if I want to get to tier 4 here, I want to get to auto financing, I want to get to computer leases, I want to get to bank credit cards, then I need to know how many accounts that I actually need to be able to get that stuff done. And you can see here that for these accounts, I only need 9 trade lines. So, and how do I know if I have 9 accounts on my business credit reports? Well, the only way you know that is to actually get credit monitoring. So credit monitoring is really essential in the process, because if you don't have credit monitoring, you don't know how many accounts you have, and you don't know enough to move to the next tier of building business credit. That's where you get caught. Now, you also need to get a tool that gives you access to value or look at the valuation of your business. And the reason for that is because if you don't do this, then you don't understand what makes the business worth more and what makes the business worth less. So for example, you don't understand that an increase in EBITDA or an increase in certain things like profit or profit margins increase the overall valuation of the business. You don't know that by being a software or by being a education company versus a software company, that an education company, you're only getting 2 times the value, but a software company, you're going to get 5. And if you can choose between NAICS codes, which you can't, then you don't want to choose one that gives you a lower value. I mean, these are big differences. Think about that. Credit Suite could be an education company, we could be a financial services company, or we could be a software company. We have to choose wisely between those 3. If we don't understand how valuations work, we might come in and say, okay, hey, look, we're an education company because we educate people. But the problem is that an education company might get 2 times our profit when we sell the company. But if we come in and we're actually a software company, we get 5 times that. Or financial services, you get 10 times that. So think about that. The difference between your business being worth 2 times your profit or 10 times your profit is just knowing the right industry sector to choose. So there's just a lot of factors when it comes to valuation. And this is why you really need to make sure that you understand how to evaluate your business. So for example, if you come through in our actual business finance suite and you click on valuation, you're able to come in, access a calculator, and then be able to type in all the figures that you need to type in to actually see exactly how much your business is worth, and then get in a 28-page report even, and I'll show you how to get that, access to what makes you different. Where do you compare in your industry? What should you do to make your business worth more money? That kind of information can make your business 10 to 100x worth more money when you actually go to sell it. You also really need to have access to financing, because if you don't have access to financing, it's really tough to grow the business. And here's the problem. The problem in the funding sector that we're trying to solve, that's a huge, massive problem for you trying to get money, is that a lot of lenders offer different kind or a very select kind of financing. So let me just give you 2 examples. On Deck is one of the biggest publicly owned company. They're a publicly owned company, one of the biggest in the alternative lending space. But all they do is deal with cash flow. You can go to their website right now. They're not going to tell you that. They're not going to tell you what the qualifications are, the kind of financing they want. They're just going to, in general, tell you that they can help you get money. But the reality is, I can go to On Deck with an 850 credit score and no revenue, and they can't help me. But I can go to them with 10,000 in revenue and a 500 credit score, and they can't help me. I can go to a lender like Seek, for example, or Seek Capital, and that are based on credit, not cash flow. I can go to them with a 680 credit score and get $150,000 in funding. But I can go to them with a $10 million business in revenue and a 500 credit score, and they can't give me any funding. So what I'm saying is that you really want to make sure that you have the financial support that you need, because you're going to need startup capital. You're going to need capital as your business gets traction and gets off the ground. You're going to need expansion and growth capital. You're going to need capital on the other end when you get to be a 7 or 8 figure business. Because when you build a $10 million business down the road, it's pretty scary if you don't have a big cushion to help you when things go wrong. You're running a $10 million business, COVID hits and everybody stops buying. It helps when you have a $500,000 credit line. So from inception of your business all the way to when you go to exit, you're going to need capital throughout that. And having access to finance experts that can help you, having access to all the funding programs in one place, that's really the key to being able to get money from the beginning of your business all the way through, even if you're a nonprofit, even if you're a high-risk industry, even if you have credit issues, even if you don't have collateral, even if you have a lot of those things that typically disqualify you. So again, something you want to keep an eye out for is a funding team that can help you. Now, we're blessed because our clients have that support. We have a whole funding team that helps them actually find funding. We have over 1,000 funding sources. We work with every legitimate type of funding program that's out there along the way as well. And we even have a finance marketplace. So, for example, this is how it looks and what it should look like for you when you're trying to do this on your own. Is you're able, our clients are able to come in, say, finance my business, and then based on the preliminary information that they enter, they're able to see all the programs that are recommended to them, all the different kind of capital sources that are available. So, and the ones that aren't recommended. So again, you want to make sure that you have access to all funding programs in one place and that you have access to people that can help you along the way, because 20 years through this process, being a loan broker in a lot of different industries, man, loan brokers are people you want. If you're going to get a mortgage, you need to use a mortgage broker, not your banker. And I'll tell you why, because mortgage brokers can beat bankers' rates all day long, because the Bank of America is one bank. A mortgage broker has access to hundreds of banks. They can actually go to the place that's going to give you the best rate based on your unique scenario. So I've really learned that I do not do anything with money without support. I don't even the knowledge I have. So actually, I just showed you this program called Credit Line Hybrid. Credit Line Hybrid is a program we use to get credit lines, and it's one of the best programs I've ever seen for startups. Well, I recommend and talk about this all the time. When I get money, I use the program. When I go to get a Bank of America credit card or a Barclays Bank credit card, I do not do that on my own. I actually pay a company to help me with that, because they get me more cards, better, longer 0% terms, better points, and better rates. So again, having access to all that funding in one place is a big difference maker to help you get the maximum amount of money. And also, you need to make sure that you have access to as many of these programs as you can get. 401k financing, 0% funding for startups, equipment financing, AR financing, because this makes a big difference. Equipment financing gives you potentially in some businesses exactly what you need to be able to grow the business faster. 401k securities financing, easy ways to tap into your assets or those of others to even tap in and get startup capital, or 5% credit lines, regardless of personal credit. We had somebody on our funding challenge last week that was actually talking about SBA financing. And this is what I found. You could actually buy the building you're in right now and make money on it from the other tenants. So there's a lot of opportunities in commercial real estate financing as you grow. 0% funding of startups, for example, letting your customers pay you on terms, making it easier to attract more customers, but then also accumulating an asset you can use to get 1 or 2% interest rate financing, and an asset that's the most common asset that's used for SBA financing to qualify, called AR financing. So again, you need to make sure that you have access to all these different types of funding in one place for you to be able to get the maximum amount of money for your business. Now, that being said, the nice thing and what it really comes down to with expediting your results is professional guidance. If somebody can help you avoid mistakes before they even occur. And so if you look at this, and a lot of people ask why our clients are able to come in and literally cut 2.5 years off this process, I'll show you exactly how it's done. First of all, you have a lot of questions when you're going through this process. I mean, literally, we come in, and no exaggeration, no exaggeration. When we come in on a Monday, we have about 500 comments and questions in our groups and in our social media channels to be answered. 500. We have somebody just full time. All they does is just answer the questions on our social channels. That's how many questions we have of people that are trying to do this on their own. It's pretty substantial. So what we do is really create a process when you're building your business credit to be able to come through step by step and do this successfully. And we really have a lot of safeguards in here to help clients actually succeed with building business credit. So for example, being able to tell you what's recommended and what's not is a big difference. So you know which accounts you can start to apply for and which ones you're not going to qualify for. Knowing the underwriting guidelines of every single source is important to know that you're going to meet the criteria before you apply. Having things broken down into a tier system where you know to apply for these first and tier 2 second, tier 3 and tier 4 helps you apply for credit in the right order. You're going to get approved, not denied. Knowing that you need to have so many accounts reporting on your business credit reports to get that tier is also a big difference maker. The bottom line is the biggest delay in building business credit is that you're applying for credit that you're not actually going to get approved for. So you apply and get denied, apply and get denied, apply and get denied, then you apply and get approved, and then you get denied, denied, denied. It's just such a waste of your time. And every time you get denied, you lose your chance to reapply for that source for some period of time, 30, 60, 90, sometimes 6 months. So you've got to make sure that by having the right support, help, and guidance, you can go step by step, know that you're only applying for what you're going to get approved for, and have somebody there that actually can help answer questions to help avoid issues before they even occur. And I can't tell you how many people come in and have one thing wrong with fundability that when we help them fix it, they go get that credit card, they get the credit line, they get the loan they just previously got denied for. So some things that you definitely want to keep in mind when going through this. And this is just a perfect example here with Herman. So with Herman, as he says, with Credit Suite, your one-on-one consultant calls you within 24 hours of signing up. And they call at least 5 times a week in the first 2 weeks. And then after that, even though it's been several years I've been with them, my one-on-one consultant still calls me every other Wednesday without fail. And that's absolutely incredible. My favorite line of credit I got is a $10,000 Amazon card I used to purchase things low and sell high on different marketplaces. I was also able to get a $40,000 Amex card. None of my accounts show up in my personal credit. So if I max them out, it doesn't hurt me personally. So I was able to purchase 2 properties in Cleveland, Ohio. It's been a blessing. So I show you this for several different reasons. You see a typical entrepreneur here with Herman. Herman's into multiple different ventures. He's using business credit to get cash credit cards that he's using to actually buy and flip properties. He's using retail store credit like Amazon to be able to come in and actually buy stuff online low and then be able to turn around and sell high. So multiple businesses he's doing. And as you see here, he's doing it with the help of one-on-one advisors. The advisors are what are helping him through this process and helping him take his goals of running these businesses and actually pairing them with the help that he needs to actually succeed with getting the money. Okay, so, Core isn't our only program now, and this is a little known secret. I know I'm revealing this to you today, but literally it's a secret, okay? If you go to our website and you go and it's going to give you 2 options. Do you want to offer business credit financing as a service, or do you want to get business credit for yourself? I'll actually show you exactly what this looks like. And when I say something is secret, I literally mean that it is secret. It's not something that we even disclose. So what I'm about to show you is something we call off-sheet pricing. It's something special we don't even talk to clients about because look, a lot of clients can't afford to work with us. And we have a program specifically for that. If you go to pricing, it says, do you want to be a partner of business credit? And if you go to business credit, you'll see more about our core program. Now, I'm going to get you access to some really cool stuff today at the end of this that's not here, but you can see that you only have access to our core program. That's it. That's all that's here. But we also have something we don't talk about very often, but it's an extremely affordable way for you to build business credit. And it's called our Genesis program. So our Genesis program is a do-it-yourself step-by-step. So you're still getting access to our partner or our business credit builder here. Step 1, walking through and building your fundability. You're able to get help with getting your business credit reports, get the 90% discount on credit monitoring, access all the tiers of building business credit, all the sources, all the underwriting guidelines. Everything you see here, you're able to access with our Genesis program, but you're doing it on your own. You're not doing it with the help of our advisors to help you through that actual process. So if you're doing that, this is a huge saver of money because instead of it's a cancel, pay as you go, anytime program, unlike our core program, which is $3,000 and you could break it down into payments. And this is really simple for us to make it very, very, very affordable for you, way cheaper than our core program. As a matter of fact, it's easier for us to customize payments for you on this because again, you're not using our team's time. You're using our technology. So this is something that can save you a ton of time from doing it on your own, a ton of money from even paying for a more expensive program like our core program. And it's something we don't even really advertise that we offer. And you can see the kind of results here. Here's one client that just got $61,400 with working through our team through that problem. So again, if you really talk about that, you're able to come in and be able to get our Genesis program, and you can bring us up to our sales team. Then they're going to be like, where did you even hear about this? Ty doesn't even talk about this on trainings, but that gives you a very affordable way to be able to build business credit. If again, you're interested in doing it that way. Now let's talk about NAV, because NAV is a truly bare bones process. They charge about actually $27 a month. If you go through us, it's only $24. They actually get you access to credit monitoring. And, according to a survey they did, a business that monitors their business credit's 40% more likely to get a bank loan from the last survey that they actually did. Now, again, they actually take in the business credit reporting agencies have their own kind of solution. They don't really offer solutions on the business side. But again, when it comes to NAV, they can give you access to a market of credit cards you could choose from, but they just don't give you any guidance of what you actually choosing and what order you're actually choosing to apply for. Okay, so some things to keep in mind. Now, when it comes to monitoring your D&B scores, you can go to D&B Direct. They have a credit monitoring program. It's $39 a month. You can also go through NAV and get it all for only $24 a month. With Experian, it's $189 per year for the right reports, and I'm giving you a rundown of that as well. You can go directly Experian for that. And Equifax is about $20 a month. If you look at their normal credit monitoring products to monitor business credit and get alerts, then it runs down like this. It's about $50 for that product with Equifax. It is $150 with Experian as well, and you can pay upwards of $100 if you're using. $150 with D&B and upwards of $100 if you're using Experian. Okay, so again, it can add up. Your business credit monitoring can get expensive, and that's why it's nice to be able to go through and use a program like NAV, because you're able to see here that using that, the kind of results that people are able to get. Gas cards, $1,200 approval, $7,500 approval, $3,000 approval, Exxon with $1,000 credit limit here, $1,500 with Office Depot, $10,000 on a Net 30 account. Here's a Chase Inc. account. I can go on and on and on, but the bottom line is this is the key, is not only going through these steps to build your business credit, but it's also monitoring your credit along the way. So a lot of benefits here. We mapped this out into a 7-step process, so you know exactly how to succeed. The very first thing that we do is walk you through fundability. It's about 125 factors that make your business fundable, and here's why. If you don't build the fundable foundation, then the problem is that you're not going to get approved for credit financing. Lenders and credit issuers have to see you as a legitimate, credible business. If they don't see you that way, if that's not the perception you're giving them, then you're not going to get approved for credit financing, even when you're established business. And if you do, you're not going to get as much as you should, and you'll pay way higher interest rates than you should. So you got to get things in line, like your business name, your business address, your business phone number, the entity type. You got to know the NAICS code for your actual industry and how to choose the right industry. You got to get your EIN set up. You got to make sure all that stuff is congruent, that your Secretary of State records are set up, that your website, your email, your business license, your merchant account, your bank account, all that stuff has to meet very specific criteria. And if it does, it goes a long way to help you get business credit funding, even if you are a brand new business, even if you are in a high risk industry, even if you are a nonprofit, this goes a long way. So in our 7 steps, that's the very first step we take, and very first step you should take if you're doing this on your own, is you should go through and make sure that your fundability is set up. The second thing is you need to get yourself established with D&B, Equifax, Experian. Equifax and Experian will give you failing credit scores even if you have no credit with them. So you want to make sure that you start getting credit accounts reporting to them right away to not have a bad score. And you got to get set up with D&B and get things like your DUNS number, the same as you need a BIN number or business identification number with Experian. So you got to get set up and let the credit bureaus know you exist and set up your initial credit profiles with them. So that's exactly the same thing that we do with our clients in step 2, is we help them come in and actually get set up with the actual credit reporting agencies. Now, step 3 is you want to start building business credit. We do this through starter vendors. Now, starter vendors are vendors that will give you credit when you have none, and they report that credit to the business credit reporting agencies. Very, very, very small group of companies in the country that do this. As a matter of fact, it's estimated that only 7% of all vendors out there even do the things that are needed for you to be able to even have the account report. Okay, so you got to get accounts that actually do report. If you don't, then the problem is you're getting a lot of accounts that don't report, and you're wasting a lot of time. And I see it happen with a lot of people. A lot of people use my advice. They go in and they get they have these comments. They say, hey, look, I got 7 accounts. None of them are reporting. Well, what am I doing wrong? Well, I don't know. I don't know what accounts you got. I don't know, what process you went through. I don't know how much you spent with them. There's a lot involved. For each starter vendor, there's requirements of what you really need to do to be able to make sure that you get access to an account that actually reports. Some report quarterly, some report monthly. Some report only if you spend $50. Some report only if you spend $75. Some accounts you get report to the consumer and commercial reporting agencies. Sometimes you get credit with people like Apple that don't even report the credit you get anywhere. So you've got to look out for all these minefields to be able to come in and be able to get starter access. Now, we have the largest supply of starter vendors because we help people get in that business. As you can imagine, a lot of people come to me and say, Ty, I want to report to D&B. How do I do it? And I say, here's my contact with D&B. Here's an exact step-by-step guide to get the ability to report with D&B. Okay, so again, the reason that we have access to the vendors we have access to is that we don't wait to find vendors that report. We actually get vendors the ability to actually report as well. The next thing is you got to start monitoring your business credit. Again, in order to move from tier to tier of the business credit building process, you've got to get credit accounts that actually report. Give me 1 second here. My apology. I've got a dog that will scratch the door down if I did not let her in. So you got to access to monitor, because moving through the business credit building step is about moving through the tiers of credit. The only way you can move through the tiers of credit is to be able to see how many accounts in your business credit reports. And in order to do that, you've got to get access in step 4 to business credit building. Then you've got to start getting to tier 2 accounts. And again, when we look at tier 2 accounts are basically accounts that will actually report to or that will actually get you approvals when you have a handful of initial starter vendors. So when we tier accounts, just based on how many accounts you need reporting them in order to move on to the next tier. So when we look at tiers, we look at how many accounts you have now that report in order to start qualifying for all these sources. So when we talk about a tier 2 sources or tier 3 sources or tier 4, in tier 2 is where you get Amazon and Staples and Lowe's and Home Depot, your 7-Eleven. You're getting these very early into the process. Then as you progress through to tier 3 and tier 4 tiers, you get access to harder to get accounts. And by harder to get, I mean, these accounts just have bigger, deeper business credit profiles required before they'll actually approve you. So this is when you get into Visa cards and MasterCards or bank credits, when you get into Sam's Club and a lot of fleet credit sources, when you get into computer leases with places like Dell. It's where you get into auto financing with places like Ally, Ford, Toyota. That's, for example, tier 4. So tier 2 are just harder to get than tier 1 and easier to get than tier 3. The same thing with tier 3 accounts. Tier 3 accounts are harder to get than tier 2 accounts, but easier to get than tier 4. And the final step with us is getting to the very final tier of business credit building, which we call tier 4. And this is bank credit. These are Visa cards. These are MasterCards. These are computer leases. This is auto financing. This is really the epitome of your business credit building. Once you get here, you're able to get almost every kind of credit you can get strictly based on business credit. You can get here, and your ability to get credit lines and loans is significantly improved as well. So keep in mind, it's a time-consuming thing to figure out on your own. It can be frustrating. There's a reason for that. It's not meant for you. I hate to say it. It's not meant for you. It wasn't designed for you. Business credit building system was designed for you not even to know about it. It was designed for you not to know how to build it. It was designed for you not to understand what needs to be understood in order to get business credit. Now, here's the great news. You can get it even as a startup. The bad news is the system is designed for you not to know what's needed to succeed. Okay. And that's why we've been so successful in the years that we've helped people through this process. Because what people have realized is that even a startup can do what massive companies do and follow the same series of steps. The problem is the massive companies have CFOs. They have, controllers. They have financial savvy people that help them through the process of building their business credit. And startups don't have those people. More than likely, I would say there's a 99% chance that you don't have a financial expert like a controller or a CFO who knows exactly what's needed to build business credit in your organization now. That's why the system's designed for newer businesses to fail. And it's designed to make it time consuming, designed to create that frustration. Okay. But again, what if you didn't have to do either? What if you have to waste the time, or what if you don't have to have the frustration? Well, keep in mind that business credit gives you greater borrowing ability. You have consumer credit and you have commercial credit. Keep in mind that business credit limits are 10 to 100 times higher than consumer credit limits. And that's per SBA, not per me. Okay, keep in mind that it makes it easier for you to get approved for credit and financing, even as a startup business. It helps you get better rates and terms on the financing you get. It helps you get higher approval amounts. It helps you access credit lines and loans that are needed to grow the business. It gives you a competitive advantage to anybody in your industry that doesn't know about it. 90% of business owners know nothing about building business credit. Okay. You can build business credit as long as you have a business in the United States. It doesn't matter if you're high risk. It doesn't matter if you're nonprofit. You don't need to buy bogus trade lines. You don't need to buy shelf corporations in order to get it. And again, it helps you get approved for financing versus getting denied. It helps you get approved for the highest approval limits, and it helps you do so at the best terms, even if you're denied for other kind of financing. And the reason for that is that almost every kind of loan or credit line out there, you have to have good credit or cash flow that's consistent for 6 months to a year, or collateral to get. If you don't have one of those 3 C's, you're not going to get 95% of the funding that's out there. The other 5% of funding that doesn't rely on those is equity financing. It's angel investors, it's venture capitalists where you're giving up equity in the business, or maybe crowdfunding where you have a really unique idea and you raise money through crowdfunding, or business credit. Those are about the only solutions that don't rely on cash flow credit or financing to get money. It's why it works so well for startup businesses to be able to get the money you need. And as I mentioned, Equifax Experian will give you failing scores if you have no credit. You can see here somebody has all zeros, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. They have no credit. There's no credit on the credit profile. But you can see that they have a 28 score with 0 being the lowest you can get. And on financial stability score, they're a 6 at a level of 0 to 100. Financial stability risk score, by definition, it literally depicts your risk of filing bankruptcy in the next 12 months, closing your door, ceasing operations, shutting down your business. However you want to describe it, your business goes kaput. That's probably not how I would describe it, but that's what it actually literally depicts. So on a scale of 0 to 100, with the 0 being the lowest score you can get and 100 being the highest, this person's a 6 because they have no credit. So it's really seen, you're seeing it's very high risk in the commercial world just by having no credit. And here you can see how high of risk they're perceived by lenders and creditors. But what's interesting is that if you had even at one account, you can see here, this person got one account, and that one account being reported on their business credit reports, paid as agreed, gave them an excellent score. So it only takes one account reported to Equifax Experian to have a really good score from a really bad score to a really good score. And the interesting thing, and you can see how now they went from about a high risk as you can get to about a low risk as you can get. But and you can see here they went from a low score to a high score just because they had one account. But again, as I mentioned, what's interesting with business credit building is you can see the credit limit recommendation here is $1,000 for somebody that has no credit on their credit report. We can see that first person that had one account got a credit limit recommendation of $2,500. But here's what's interesting. This person is being recommended for nearly $7,000 in credit, and they have 2 accounts on their business credit reports. Here's somebody that's being recommended for nearly $16,000 in credit, and they've got 3 accounts on their business credit reports. Here's somebody that's being recommended for $66,000 in credit, and they've got 1, 2, 3, 4 accounts on their business credit reports. Here's somebody that's being recommended for $724,000 worth of credit and financing, and they've got 15 accounts on their business credit reports. In helping 40,000 plus people through this process, what we found is a clear trend. The more accounts you have on your business credit reports, the higher the recommendation of credit. When you look at these credit reports, these are the top boxes of Experian's credit reports. So let's look at the 3 things that are there. Their main credit score and telescore, which reflects how you pay your business bills per the items on your business credit report. That financial stability score, the score that reflects your risk of filing bankruptcy. We've seen that just by getting even one account that reports to the reporting agency, that gives you a good IntelliScore. We've seen the more accounts you add to your business credit report and the more you pay those on time, the better your financial stability score. And now you've seen the final piece of the puzzle that they don't want you to know. The more accounts you add on your business credit reports, this higher the recommendation for credit. And since this is one of the only 3 things in the main section that the credit bureaus are showing the lenders, it goes to show how much lenders are relying on these 3 pieces of data. So if you're not getting credit limits on credit cards as high as you want, if you're not getting approved for credit lines or loans with amounts that are as high as you want them to be, now you know why. Because the credit bureaus are telling lenders and credit issuers how much money you should be given. And if you're not being given what you want to be given, it's because your credit reports, if you pull them, are reflecting what I'm showing you here. They're reflecting that you don't have a high recommendation of credit because you don't have enough established business credit. By establishing business credit, that is what helps your limits go, your recommendations go up, and what helps your approval amounts get higher as well. And John says, "Hey Ty, John from New Orleans, what's up, buddy? I have a 725 and it has a 825. Do you think I can get the credit line hybrid? Credit line hybrid's not just based on credit score. Your credit score should qualify you, yes. But John, as long as your utilization's pretty low, your inquiries are fairly low, That will help you get higher approval amounts. And the other thing with credit line hybrid is that you need to have some established credit on there. You should have, one or two credit cards with $2,000 limits you've had open for a year, 2 years plus, or loan of some sort for like a car or a house. If you have that, good chance you can get approved, but just give us a call. Our number's on the bottom of these slides. We can get you a same-day pre-approval with the soft pull. It doesn't put any hard inquiry on your credit report. Okay. So will this work for you? Well, again, it's the only kind of money you can get if you don't have cash flow credit or collateral, and it works for any kind of business. And also keep in mind that every one of the largest publicly owned companies has business credit. You can see Facebook here with 40 trade lines. You can see Dell has 83 trades. You can see Microsoft 130 trade lines. And a trade line is the reporting of an account to them. So 138. Apple has 138 accounts on their business credit reports, which means they have credit with 138 trade vendors that are reporting the credit that they're using to Experian. Okay, we can see here 153 with Pilot Flying J. We can see Publix here in my backyard in Lakeland, Florida has 171. We can see Walmart has 513 trade lines. So the key to understand, and if you ever read Sam Walton's book, Sam talks about this, that when he first got Walmart off the ground, he would go in to buy his inventory from suppliers. And those suppliers would go in the back room and pull his Dun & Bradstreet credit report. This was happening in the 70s when he was getting Walmart off the ground, right? So now, if you look at Walmart, they followed that all the way through. The reason they have 500 trade lines is that 80% of what Walmart sells on their shelves, they use business credit to buy. This is very ingenious, so you might want to hear this out. Okay, so what Walmart does is when you go to buy water from Walmart, they're actually buying the water from Zephyr Hills. They're buying it using business credit. They're using their business credit to buy the water from Zephyr Hills. They take the water, they put the water on the shelf. I come and buy the water. I give Walmart money. Walmart takes my money, and then they use it to pay Zephyr Hills for the amount that they borrowed to buy the water. It's why they're the number one retailer in the world. OPM, other people's money, they've mastered it. And 80% of what you see, walk down Walmart aisle, 1, item 2, item 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Of 10 of those items you see on a shelf, 8 of those they used buying business credit. They used business credit to buy it. They sold it to you. They take your money to pay off the credit they used. This is how all of the biggest publicly owned and privately owned companies work. If you look at Apple, you'll see that Apple is sitting on $128 billion in cash right now. In cash, Apple has like $128 billion last time I checked, and they have nearly $96 billion in debt. So think about that. Why do they have $128 billion in cash and $96 billion in debt? Why would Apple even be borrowing money and accruing debt if they're sitting on all this cash? Look, it's why Apple is the most profitable company of all time, because they also understand OPM. I can go through all of them. I can go through Walmart. I can go through Dell. I can go through Apple. We can look at Facebook. They all are using this system to grow their companies. They're using OPM. They're using business credit to get as large as they have. All of the largest privately owned, publicly owned companies have. But take a look at this. Here's Mars Incorporated. They make Mars bars, 22 trade lines on the business credit reports. If we look at this, this is one of our clients a month into the business credit building This was 3 months into the business credit building process. They have 8 trades. They have a third as much credit as Mars that makes Mars bars. And they're 3 months into the business credit building process. Here was another one of our clients pretty new into the business credit building process with 14 trade lines. So what's happening here is that startups can follow the same system as places like Walmart does to be able to obtain business credit. And when you do, as you can see, you're able to start building up to as many trade lines as some of the biggest privately and publicly owned companies like Mars Incorporated does. It's just a matter of knowing the right series of steps to actually take. And here's an example of how that plays out. So here's an example from Kyle and Trower. I believe the Business Finance Suite is the best step-by-step paint-by-number system to secure anywhere from 50 to 250 grand in business credit that reports in your business credit reports and helps you separate personal and business credit. What I like most is you have access to actual coaches that will take you by the hand and walk you through the system and answer specific questions that you have related to your business. It's just an amazing opportunity for business owners. So Kylan was a gym teacher, and he wanted out. And so he got business credit to build a business that was a coaching business. He loved business credit so much, he got into the business of offering business credit financing as a service through us as a partner, built a 7-figure business, put a sales team all around the country, and built a very large, successful business in a very large period of time and got away from being a gym teacher. Not that it's a bad thing to be a gym teacher. My sister's a teacher. I have the utmost respect for the work that she does. And these little crazy kids run around and she gets no appreciation for what she does either. But he wanted out, and it gave him the ability to change. And the same thing, if you're working a 9-to-5 job right now or in a place you don't want to be, it's usually going to take the capital to get you out of it and into business like you want to see. Okay, so again, you can see more approvals, 6-8 from a $16,000 Sam's Club. There's a $4,000 approval here. FedEx approval, another $5,000 approval, $20,000 approval limit here. You can see here there's another Axel approval, $10,000 on a Sam's MasterCard, a MasterCard that she can use anywhere. Okay, here's a 93 Experian credit score with no personal guarantee. I can't see the approval amount on this. It looks like it's 10 grand. A Bank of America credit card. So you can see the kind of money you can get using the right tool to be able to build your business credit, to be able to get financing, to be able to improve your fundability at exactly the same time. So that being said, how do you do it? You know, what's the best way to be able to tap in and get the fastest results through this process? Well, let me let you hear from Josh, because Josh to me is the epitome of where I've tried to get to and where I did exceed, and where Josh has exceeded, and where I think a lot, where maybe you're watching this and have a lot of these desires too, to build a 7-8 figure business like Josh did. So here's what Josh has to say, and I think it's a good rundown of what it's like when you get credit financing. One thing that's beautiful about Credit Suite is that you start with baby steps. The first thing that we did was get a couple of revolving credit lines and store credit. Then we graduated to gas cards. Now, keep in mind, what Josh just explained is what I just showed you. He went through the baby steps of the tiers to get credit cards and then got all the way to tier 3 with fleet cards. Then we ended up getting a very nice line of credit with Amazon, which he got, I think, in tier 2 as well. And then we worked our way up to getting a very, very nice SBA loan. Thanks to Credit Suite, we were able to really just get our business finances in order from what looks good to potential lenders and potential creditors, and we became very attractive to lenders. The best options are always available to those who have their credit game locked down, and that's what Credit Suite platform allows you to do. We've been able to make smart investments in staffing, marketing systems, sales systems, product development, all these things before Credit Suite we just really couldn't do. I just don't have to stress as much because we got money in the bank to take advantage of opportunities. I'm not as stressed anymore. I can keep a bank account that has plenty of cushion in there. And that cushion just honestly, it makes me a better dad. It makes me a better husband because I'm not stressing out as much. This hits a chord for me, and anybody that has a family can understand. I've run businesses the majority of my life that I've had very little money in the bank because I've been reinvesting the money into the business. And finally, I broke through after, I don't know, nearly 2 decades of running businesses to see the other side of that. It's a lot less stressful when you have money in the bank. And anybody that's been where I've been, the majority of the time growing a business where you don't, you know the stress that it has. The second step is he's telling you exactly how the process worked for him. He started with building his business credit, started getting these small accounts. He got his fundability in line. Then all of a sudden he started to be appealing to lenders. Credit issuers started to approve him. He got himself an SBA loan. He used the SBA loan to fund what he was doing, as you mentioned, the marketing, all the different things in his business. He actually went and adopted a LinkedIn system where he can actually go get leads from LinkedIn and tee them up for sales teams. Okay, he sells it for a lot of money and it's worth every single penny. He even does it with no charge up front where you just pay him a percentage of the sales. He found his niche and now he built a 7-figure business really quick, and now he's well on his way to 8 figures. But the difference of how he did it was just accessing money. And he talked you through the importance of fundability, building business credit, as well as actually accessing the financing you need to do that. It's the same thing that all the largest publicly and privately owned companies do to get to as big as they are. So look, if you're watching this, you're probably looking for the fastest, easiest way to get money. And more than likely, you've probably struggled to get access to the money that you need. But with us, you're able to get business credit that's linked to your EIN without the personal guarantee and credit check. You're able to access a funding team that will help you access all financing in one place. You can walk through our system in English and or Spanish. Okay, we're able to help you set up your business name correctly, set up your entity, your EIN, your address, your phone number, get it listed with 411, your website, your email address, your merchant accounts, your bank accounts, all those aspects of fundability we're able to help you through so your business actually looks credible to lenders and credit issuers. We help you get set up with Dun & Bradstreet, Equifax, Experian. We help you fix inaccuracies on your business credit report. We help you get your BIN number with Experian, your DUNS number with Equifax as well. We have the largest supply of starter vendors to help you start building initial business credit, the largest supply of store, retail credit, Visa card, MasterCard, bank credit, as well as being able to get fleet credit and auto financing as well. And we're able to get you access to all funding in one place. Funding that's based on cash flow, that's based on collateral, that's based on credit. Startup funding where you can get $150,000 there. SBA loans, alternative SBA loans, term loans, even connect you with private investors as well. So one place to get all the money you need through the growth of your business. And if you want to offer business credit financing, we give you a business in a box. I mean, a franchise, basically equivalent without the franchise cost. You're able to get website, 8-page website, press releases, articles, free reports, ebooks, guides, a year's worth of email content, social media content, everything you basically need to offer business credit financing, financing on or training on financing, everything you need with marketing flyers for financing products, finance training, finance videos, financing flyers as well, a jumpstart 7-step program to get started as a partner as well. So if you are interested in a faster path and working with us to do this, then again, if you look at our website, you'll see it's as much as $7,000 to work with us. And we've got, 2 different kind of programs. You can come in and get access to our core program, which we talked about initially, for 7 payments of $597 or $29.97. We'll work with you on customized payments. We also have option 2 of 8 payments of $697 as well, and 1 payment of $44.97 with our partner program. Now, I didn't talk about Genesis pricing today, and that changes. But again, if you give our team a call at the bottom of these slides, Genesis program is a program you can pay as you go. It's a do-it-yourself. It's the most affordable program that we have, and I can tell you that it's way less than a few $100 to be able to get started. So it's very affordable for almost anybody that's interested. And again, I don't even discuss the pricing of that program because it's not something we typically talk about, but it is there. And if you tell our sales team that I talked and you're interested in Genesis, they'll walk you through that as well. Keep in mind, it's going to take you 2 years to do this on your own plus. So you got to think about that time you save of 18 months plus, what you could do with that time. Also keep in mind, if you're interested in working with us, we will customize a payment plan for you. We do have affordable payment options and we'll work that out. We also can even help you get financing for the money that you need to get started. And we give you access to everything, our team, our funding team, our business credit team, our technology, everything. When you get started, you don't even have to pay for months to be able to get access. You get it all. So as an entrepreneur, you should be able to get the money you need when you need it. It's our belief, okay? But not knowing the approval standards, not knowing how to set up your business fundably, not knowing the kind of financing you can get or where to get it, not knowing the step-by-step process to build business credit, taking advice from novices, all of that stuff is going to hold you back from being able to actually reach your goals. So this is kind of a look at exactly what it's like to work with us and what you're getting from all those aspects of setting up your fundability, setting up with the reporting agencies, getting access to funding, everything you basically need to succeed through this. And if you are getting started with this week, we've got a bunch of really cool bonuses for you as well, including a 30-minute coaching call with our team, 90 days of credit monitoring, which saves you $750, only $24 a month after that for credit monitoring, a 28-page full business valuation report that tells you what you need to fix with your business and how to fix it, multiple review sites widgets. You can put all your reviews into one widget on your website, and a personal branding course that by itself sells for thousands of dollars. So you're able to get all of that, about 7,000 worth of bonuses if you're interested in getting started through by Friday. So again, that's the stuff that you'll literally pay for, a lot of it, if you wanted to get any of that, but it's free if you're getting started with us as well. And again, we will get you access to everything you need to actually be successful. So again, it comes down to tools. You can do this on your own using our training and take longer to get the results. You could work with our actual team and be able to get the results in a fraction of the time. And if you are interested in doing so and you're getting started through Friday, then again, you're able to come in and you're able to get nearly $7,000 worth of bonuses. And if you'd like access to the best tools to be able to build business credit, then give us a call. I'm going to give you access to a free consultation with us. And with that, you're actually able to come in and be able to get all the bonuses, including the access to D&B Equifax Experian credit reports, which will go with you, a fundability assessment, as well as a playback of this webinar as well. You're able to be able to get all of that as well. So again, I don't know why I've got kind of a repeat here on this stuff. I cannot be able to do it. So again, we've went through a lot of tools today that are actually going to help you succeed with getting the money that you need to be able to build your business. If you'd like a free consultation to see where your fundability is wrong and what you need to do to fix it, if you'd like access to a step-by-step program to help you build business credit, if you'd like access to a funding qualification to see all the funding you can get now, D&B Equifax Experian credit reports for free, and a review of those, just give us a call. You're entitled to a free consultation just because you hung out with me, and our team can even get you access to the playback of this as well. So 877-600-2487. And now you kind of have a rundown of credit monitoring, NAV, our tools and the other tools that are out to help you through this process if it's not something that you want to use just the training to go through on your own as well. So thanks for tuning in. And John says, I have core, so I'm going to call you soon. Yeah, absolutely. Give us a call. We can actually help you through that process. You know, we have a whole team of advisors, John, that can help you through that process as well. So I'm going to wrap up. Thanks for tuning in today. Don't forget that you have access to our team for a free consultation. See what needs to be fixed with fundability, step by step, figure out what you need to fix with your business credit reports, how to build your business credit, and a funding assessment. Just give us a call at 877-600-2487. If you got value from today, don't forget to like and subscribe. At the top right of our page, creditsuite.com, you can access Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, where we have daily tips. You can access our YouTube channel where we have now like 1,500 training videos on YouTube. And we have got a podcast called the Business Credit Finance Show. It's the only place where I bring in experts that teach you how to start and grow a business. So not only are you getting the training I'm giving you on how to get money for the business, but you get all the experts teaching you how to start, grow a business, how to exit at maximum value, how to market, how to get your branding right. All of that stuff happens on our podcast called the Business Credit Finance Show. Over 500,000 downloads with that podcast. So you can easily access all of those links at the top right of our page, creditsuite.com. So thanks for tuning in. If you have any questions along the way, feel free to give us a ring. And now you kind of know what the process is like to work with a company that has tools that can help you and do it on your own. And I even showed you the process that we take with a lot of our clients. So you'll be able to do that process on your own if you want to do that. Or again, if you want the fastest, easiest path, you know what we can do to help you. And if you're interested in give us a call. Because like I said, we've got off-sheet pricing with places like Genesis and customized payments where we can do all kinds of things to make it affordable. If what you see talked about here on our website isn't affordable, we will work with you. That's why we have our Genesis program, to make sure that we've got an affordable option, even for people that are working a 9-to-5 job, just trying to scrape together the money they need to start a business. We're able to make it affordable for you to be able to do so. So just give us a call. We'll talk to you more about that. And don't forget about your free consultation as well. So thanks for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you on our next training where we talk about more cool ways to get money to start and grow your business. Thanks. Have a great day.